Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the Kickout Crew podcast. So glad you could join us again today. We had very exciting and positive feedback from our first 2 episodes. Thank you for the love and support. And you can find us at Kickout Crew on Twitter. And you can email your suggestions to kickoutcrewpod@gmail.com. And, exciting stuff we have planned for you today.
So far, we have one. I'm keeping a counter today.
There it is. Well, we have exciting stuff going on today's episode. We have a great matches to discuss. We're going to be talking about Sting versus Jake at Halloween Havoc 1992, and also the 4-way Raw Tag TLC whatever from October 7th, 2002. Both of these have something in common, which we will discuss. We'll spin that way later. But first off, I just want to kick it to everybody, see how their week was, see what's going on in their lives. And start with you, Mike. How's it going?
Hey, man, I finally made it. I'll tell you this shit. This is what happened to me today. So I'm sitting inside, doing all my little research, make sure I got everything good, ready to go. I'm good. Come out here to my little hideaway, get away from the kids, set up shop in my little area, turn on the computer, go to work it. My damn fucking mouse ain't working. Here it is, an hour before we're recording, and my fucking mouse ain't working. So I'm trying to do shit on the computer, ain't working. I'm like, fuck, all right. I'm gonna run to Walmart real quick, get me another little mouse. Leave the house, head to Walmart. Everybody's damn in town. Why? The hell if I fucking know, but they gotta be there in town. Run to Walmart, run in, run out real quick, run in there, grab my shit, go to register. 50 fucking people at every damn register there is. Here I am, like on time limit, trying to get here.
You should have shoplifted.
Finally,
they wouldn't have known.
I probably should have. I wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't have cared. So finally get out here, finally get everything set up. About 2 minutes after I get everything set up, it's like, hey, time to go. But it was a hectic. I was running on time. Glad I made it.
Hey, but here you are, live and in color.
Live and in color.
I do have a question.
And of course, had to get my beer to come on the road.
Mike, I do have one question. Is that your new microphone you got? Are you using it now?
That is.
Good
that
deal,
is
man.
how
I
I
like
sound.
how it sounds. I like it.
Thank you.
How do you get
Well,
that?
that's another thing. I had to get the mouse plugs in the USB cord. Well, my fucking computer only has one USB cord. So I had to go back and get one of those adapters so I can plug up more damn USB cords. I was like, damn, this damn shit had to happen right now.
What do you have, a Commodore 64?
Nah, it's just one of those little damn cheap things.
Devyn, you know
That's
what
for us
that
old
is,
guys,
buddy?
Brad.
You know what a Commodore 64 is, Devyn?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I didn't think so.
Look that up on your pop culture shit.
Put that in your Google machine.
Yeah, put it in the Google machine.
Thank you for sharing that story, Mike. Glad you can make it in time. As you can see, that's sacrifices we make here at the Kickout Crew. We got to keep the show going. So I like that, Mike. I like that. Up next, we go to the main man, Brad. Brad, what you got for us?
So it's going to be hard. So I got a lot of feedback on our first episode about the hair club for men. No pressure at all now, huh? So anyway, this week or this month is what everybody wants to talk about in the wrestling business. The final episode of This Is Us is coming up. Now, I know what you guys are all thinking. Yes, this is what every wrestling fan loves. So let's talk a little bit about This Is Us. The series finale is May 24th. This Is Us is a story about a family in different parts of their lives. The beginning, the middle, and the end is like their kids, their adults, and then their old people. 6 years ago, 2016, this preview is every commercial on NBC. This Is Us coming to NBC. This Is Us coming to NBC. As soon as it would come on, I'd hurry up and change the channel so my wife didn't see it. Like, I don't want any part of the show. I don't want any part of it at all. Finally, she sees it, says, hon, I really want to watch it. What am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say no? This girl watches 6 hours of fucking wrestling a week. Yeah, okay, sure, hon. We'll watch this show together. No problem. So here we are, 2016, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. This Is Us is on all over social media. My wife's messaging. Everybody's messaging each other on social media. I'm watching a show. It's not bad. Listen, there's worse things you can watch with your wife. And then the ending comes. And it's like this. I'm like, no way that happened.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Now, I'm not going to give a spoiler, even though the show's 6 years old. Okay, Adam, no problem there. However, it would have been, if we would have been at a wrestling show, everybody would have been saying, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. I was sucked in. And so for almost 6 years, I am a closet This Is Us fan. I love it more than Daniel Bryan winning at WrestleMania 30. I love it more than Andre getting slammed at WrestleMania 3. I look forward to this show every single week, but I'm not telling anybody. Fast forward again, 2021. I'm listening to Renee Paquette. For those of you that don't know who Renee Paquette is, she was Renee Young on WWE. She has a podcast, 2 podcasts on Sirius XM Radio. She's talking to Big E about how her favorite show and her husband's favorite show, who is Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, is This Is Us. I'm like, no way. Jon Moxley, probably one of the baddest asses in the world, watches This Is Us. I'm like, so great. So we're going to have a Zoom coming up on ad-free shows and none other than Ray Paquette. So the first thing I asked her is, are you serious right now? Are you telling me that Jon Moxley really watches This Is Us? And she says, yes, he loves it. We never miss it. And then she started asking me details about the show, and we were back and forth. So I was really excited. Now, again, listening to the Wives of Wrestling podcast. Thanks a lot, John Alba. You have Kim Orton recently bring up that her and Randy watch This Is Us as well. And not only do they watch it, Randy Orton cries 9 out of 10 episodes. Oh boy, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I probably cry 4 out of 10 episodes, at least tear up a little bit. Because it is that good. Love the show. So not this coming Tuesday, next Tuesday, May 24th. You know, guys, I'm going to hold a watch party at the house. Randy, Kim, Dean, John, whatever you want to be called, and Renee. You know, go ahead, DM me on Twitter. I mean, listen, I made this picture. I mean, it's for all of us. This is us, guys. This is going to be us. May 24th. I hope you guys can make it because I'm really looking forward to spending some time with you.
That took a lot of courage, Brad. I'm proud of you. That took a lot of courage.
For those of you watching on the YouTube show, hilarious picture.
YouTube show for sure.
There's a nice picture
that I have plenty of copies made of me, Dean, and Randy. I mean, this real nice artwork at the top that says "This Is Us," that was done very well. And you know, I'm just really looking forward to the show and looking forward to spending some time with these guys.
Did you pay for that?
Now, according to the Wives of Wrestling show, Randy's wife also shaves his ass crack. Is that something that you and your wife do as well?
Well, we haven't yet, but I think she probably should because
that might be part of the vicinity.
Yeah, there's definitely some housekeeping that needs to be done, and you know,
Manscaped, if you hear that, we're always looking for some sponsors.
See what you got to look forward to, Devyn? That's love right there. Get ready to be, getting your asshole shaved, I guess. I don't know.
I'm not ready for that.
No.
Well, you can shave it or eat it, one or the other.
This is us. Well, exciting stuff as always, Brad. Definitely enjoyed it. I got a little topic to discuss. I guess it goes with television also. I saw an ad for Nickelodeon and it brought me back to one of my favorite shows growing up, Doug. I believe it probably has one of the most underrated theme songs of all time. It's a great story. I mean, who doesn't like, some Skeeter and Patty Mayonnaise? You know what I'm saying? Giggity. But definitely, and the dog, Pork Chop, he had crazy ass neighbors. I enjoyed that show a lot. Roger Klotz, who doesn't like, I mean, you hate him, but who doesn't like him as a villain, It's a good one.
You can't forget about Quail Man.
That's true. This is actually a pretty good story. My first semester at college, went to a Halloween party at a bar. It was a costume party. And one of my friends dressed up as Quail Man. He had the belt, everything. Like, it was awesome. Q on the shirt, legit. And we were like, dude, you're going to win. Like, nobody else going to have that. Like, everybody's going to pop for it. It's going to be awesome. So we show up to the bar and shit you not, there's another Quail Man there. So they were all pissed off at each other because they were like, well, we just negated each other's, like, they're not going to pick them. So that was funny. They ended up not winning, obviously, because they both dressed the same. Yeah. Shout out to old school Nickelodeon, all that. Keenan and Kel.
Rugrats.
Oh, for sure, Rugrats.
Angry Beavers. You can't go wrong with Angry Beavers.
I ran into a couple of those at the bar last night also.
We took the kids to the Nickelodeon Resort. It's a fun place. If you can still go. It's right down the street from you, James. They'll give you the slime bucket, and they got Double Dare, and you can do all the stuff. It's really cool. SpongeBob is there. It's fun. I highly recommend it.
I remember Double Dare.
Wild and Crazy Kids. What would you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mark Summer.
yeah,
It
definitely.
was everywhere. He ran like 5 shows on there.
Oh, you can't go wrong with old school Nickelodeon. I love it.
Speaking of 90s nostalgia, today we're going to be talking about Halloween Havoc 1992. I know you're as excited as we are. It took place at the Philadelphia Civic Center in the great city, pardon me, of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Yippee. It was on Sunday, obviously, October 25th, 1992. An attendance of 7,000 were for this glorious Sting and Jake match. It is a match length of 10 minutes and 34 seconds. It did 165,000 pay-per-view buys. And for all those that love your boy Dave and, fillet him all the time, he gave it a 1/4 star. Now, I will send this to the crew to talk about this match and, see where we go from there.
Good
All
old
right,
Dave Meltzer.
this is your match, buddy. Let's talk about why you picked it and why you're blaming me and James that you picked it.
Exactly.
So I honestly just really like the idea of the spin the wheel, make a deal. It's pretty cool, like an aspect to it where you can have 12 different matches, like match possibilities. The only thing for the backstory that I could really find on this match though is that about 5 weeks before this Halloween Havoc, Jake the Snake attacked Sting in Baltimore, hit him with 2 big DDTs on a steel chair, and laid him out for a couple weeks. And then he came back, and this unsanctioned lights out coal miner's glove match became into effect. I honestly, I didn't really enjoy this match. I thought it was kind of slow and like drawn out. There wasn't really any big moments of it, I didn't think. I don't know. I just like the whole thought of the, roulette wheel and the possible.
What did you think about the roulette wheel? Like when they did it,
Well,
it rose from the stage, it took forever as fuck to rise. Like, what did you think about that?
Well, speaking of Nickelodeon, that's where I thought this came from. Was Nickelodeon.
Wow.
I really did. Like, I thought they got offset of Nickelodeon, bring it up, and the whole spin the wheel deal. Yeah,
We
that's
just
it.
needed the slime and it made it Nickelodeon, right?
That's all we needed.
Did you guys notice that when they introduced Jake the Snake, they don't say how tall he is. They just say 252 or 248 pounds. I mean, that was so random to me. And then when Sting comes out, he's 252 pounds. Great, guys. Thanks. Not 6 foot anything. Not. That was a strange introduction for me.
I
Now,
didn't even notice it.
Sting's reaction to the wheel, like spinning and then just stops and kind of wiggles, is pauses on that coal miner's glove match. And you can tell he goes, "What the fuck is a coal miner's glove match?" And he's all screaming at Shivani.
Now I'm told that they actually didn't know that it was going to be a coal miner's glove match. This was not a rigged wheel. So it sounds to me like they weren't real happy about it when it happened.
I think it was rigged.
Did you watch the wind
where it
spill?
stopped. It didn't go all the way where it needed to. And I think that's where, because you could tell it was rigged to stop, but I don't think they had it lined up where it was supposed to. Because the very next thing it was going to hit on was a First Blood.
It was definitely a WCW 1992 spin the wheel thing.
For sure.
But
I'm just thankful it was only 10 minutes.
But besides
It
the
was
wheel,
quick.
Yeah, because you
like what did you
can
think of
tell somebody hit the brakes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Adam? What did you think of the wrestling in the match, though?
Well, it was with the slower pace, which I enjoyed some of that. Vader and some of the stuff Vader does. Not Vader, but Jake. I'm sorry. Some of the stuff I'm thinking of another match I watched. Jake was classic Jake, man. I mean, I love Jake Roberts. He ain't got to do much. He has the DDT, the punches. I mean, that's all he's got to do. And Jake's one of the greater wrestlers that I enjoyed back then. So as far as the match, I mean, you can't go wrong with Sting either. I mean, as far as them two in a match, on paper sounds wonderful, but when you throw that glove in there, it's just kind of like that. But the wrestling was good, though. You can't go wrong with it. Well, until they brought in the snake. When that little tiny snake come out, and I was like, wow, I've seen bigger snakes back in Boy Scouts, you know? Oh, that sounded terrible. But that sounded terrible. But,
Yeah, and Jake didn't
actually-
even bring the snake out. So like, was that snake just sitting under the ring for like 3 hours or something?
Just ran it out, didn't he?
yeah, Cactus Jack brought it out at the end, and I guess that's the biggest one he could find in such short notice.
I did notice they did a move where Sting bounced off the ropes and went for the drop kick, fell on his back. And then JR's like, oh, I wonder if they're going to take advantage of that. And Jay goes over there and he stomps Sting. I had it in my notes and then my notes deleted like right before we started. But I think it was like 9 times in a row where Jake just dropped his knee on Sting's back. You know, that high speed, big kick outs, super kick style, just knee drops.
That was a knee drop party.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, Coach,
The only thing I liked about this match was the part where Jake was in the corner and Sting ran around the whole ring, jumped in the ring, came back out the outside, and started working on his shoulder. I thought that was pretty nifty, but
yeah.
Besides that, I mean, Devyn, I think you need to get Erica to slap you for requesting this match. I really do.
What about when the Sting pulled Jake down, he straddled the ropes and then like fell backwards and like flipped? That was the only cool spot I saw in the match.
I'll tell you where I had a real problem. And Coach, I want to get your take on this because this is right up your alley. Did you hear the part where Jesse the Body said, "You don't need to get the glove to win this match"?
Hold on, the dogs are barking. Go to somebody else, please. They're freaking out.
I heard that.
So I'll stick with that. You didn't
I heard it
to win. So what was the point? Like, so you actually didn't need to get the. So just for everybody knows that's listening and watching us and didn't watch this match, the glove was at the top of a pole, at the top of the turnbuckle, and it was high, and it was very, very awkward when he was finally shimmying his way up to the top to get that glove. But there was a point in the match where I actually felt like they weren't even going to get the glove because Jesse the Body seemed very confused as like, hey, by the way, you don't need the glove to win this match, which defeats the whole purpose to me. But
Right.
Coach, but what did you think about when Sting was going up that pole?
The whole thing with him, I thought he was gonna somehow gonna end with the snake the entire time. So I really didn't even like you said. My internet sound looks like it could be a little unstable now, but overall I didn't like the match at all, and I started to space out. And if I don't get into a match, I just don't get into it. So to me, seeing Sting go up, the coal miners, I can tell it was rigged. I wasn't into it. I gave it a negative quarter star.
And Mike, did you happen to see where he actually hit him with the glove? Where he hit Jake with the glove?
Looked
Yeah, I
fake.
think I was awake for that part. I don't know. I fell asleep a couple times during this.
Well, don't
match.
you think he should hit him on the freaking head? Like,
Yeah, that's
he hit
what
him
I'm
like in a
saying.
kidney or something like that, and he pinned him for the 3 count.
It looked like he was trying to hit the snake.
I just couldn't figure out
Yeah.
they were just trying so hard to incorporate this glove into the match that if you're hitting a guy in the kidney and he's not kicking, it was terrible. Now Adam, to you again. He hit his DDT. Jake hit the DDT, which is the DDT. He invented the DDT, yet he didn't pin him. Now, I think Jake was leaving soon after this in the WCW. Was that a slap in the face to him? Why even use the DDT in that case?
I think he was at the point. I think he knew the match was just. He probably didn't go the way he wanted. So knowing Jake back in his mentality back then, he probably said, just forget it. I'm done. He just hit it and left. It probably was a slap in the face. In my opinion, it was.
And if you listen to Jake on his podcast, he had a really difficult time with Watts, and he wasn't getting paid for a long time. I think he even said the last 2 or 3 months that he was with Watts, he wasn't getting paid. So I don't really think his heart was into it. And in fact, after he left, he sued WCW and won his case, but he never came back because of that lawsuit.
Yeah, he was just real
So
unhappy back then, and I think that's what it was. He just look, I'm done with this crap. I'm out. You know, I don't care how it looks. I'm done.
Yep.
So do you think that's why it was a shitty match? Was because he didn't give a fuck?
Honestly, I do. I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, Devyn, I wanted to ask you, you're, again, I like just picking on you because you're 24. I'm not really picking on you, but I'm watching this match right now is why I keep looking over at it. Now, you were never really, Sting was always an old man for you, right? So do you like this version of Sting? Do you like Crow Sting? Are you just, what Sting do you like?
So I grew up loving Crow Sting. When I was born, I was fully invested. Like my dad had everything Sting, and that was his WCW guy. It was Crow Sting. But throwing back and looking at this old retro Sting, it's fun to watch, but like I don't know how fans really got with it. It's kind of childish and like it's cartoonish to me. It kind of acts like it's gonna be their WWE guy. Like, you know what I mean? Their WWF guy. Like how WWF was countering to like all the children in the younger era. Well, that
shows your ignorance, young man. Go back and watch Surfer Sting. 88 when he fought Flair at that Clash, and he would bang his chest and go, ah! And do the splash in the corner. That was the best version of Sting, pal.
I'll have to watch more of it, honestly. I just I'm really not familiar with the 80s, with much of the 80s at all. And this early 90s, it's all random pay-per-views that I've watched. I haven't watched any weekly episodes or anything. So I really want to go back and get into it. But actually, going back and watching this pay-per-view, I had a question for you, Brad. This pay-per-view was at the Philadelphia Civic Center. Have you ever been to any shows there or anything?
The Civic Center, no. No. The Spectrum I was at. I've been at the Wells Fargo Center, which is previously the Wachovia Center, which is previously the FU Center, which is previously the Core State Center. But no, I have not been to this one. And of course, I've been to the ECW arena, now the 2300 arena. But no, I have not been to this one.
I knew it was by you, so I wanted to ask that.
Yeah, I did hear that during this pay-per-view. And James, did you happen to like the commentary between Jim Ross and Jesse the Body Ventura?
Oh, well, you know that they had beef with each other. I didn't mind it. You could definitely tell JR was not into it. He was into the match per se, but obviously the match was trash, so he really couldn't get into that. But you could tell there was some tension between them two for sure. And I think JR mentioned it was because Jesse was getting paid more than him. So he kind of felt
exactly
some type
the reason.
of way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
And Mike,
Jesse,
real quick, why do you think, like, this is what bothers me about this match? I just want your opinion on it, because you're a nerd like me. You look at this stuff the same way I do. A non-sanctioned lights out match and a coal miner on a pole match. So it's unsanctioned. It's lights out. What does that exactly mean? Unsanctioned lights out. You know?
I don't know. I think it's just them throwing shit together, just trying to make the match sound good.
But why aren't the lights out?
Well, see,
Yeah,
that's-
it should have been. It probably been a lot better. I mean,
Adam, I'll kick it to you on that. What do you think of that? That unsanctioned lights out. What does that mean? Unsanctioned lights out. What is lights out? Is it just an unsanctioned match, or is it they supposed to have the lights out? And what does the coal miner's glove have to do with any of it?
Well, the coal miner's glove is the sorriest idea in wrestling, in my opinion, anyway. But when they do the lights out match, that means it's kind of like a symbolization of, look, this is the end of the sanctioned show. You know, that from here on out, we're not responsible for anything that happens. And then I don't know why they got throwing the coal miner's glove, because that's part of the actual show. So why throw an extra gimmick on top of the non-sanctioned match? Because when you say non-sanctioned, that means that WCW is not, they're not responsible for anything. So whenever you have just a non-sanctioned match, just let them go out there and beat the hell out of each other. They don't need no damn glove or a pole, or there shouldn't even be a ref in there that much, you know, because I'm sitting there watching it also. And the referee doesn't need to be in there breaking holds and this, that, and the other. All they need to do is let them go in there and beat the hell out of each other. But when the lights out, they cut the lights out for a second, let them come back on, and it's supposed to represent a whole new deal. This is completely away from WCW, and whatever happens, it's on them. It's not us.
I mean, we all know wrestling's a work. We know wrestling's a work. So, but at the same time, we need some logic to it. Here they are spinning a wheel for WCW, telling what the match is. However, it's unsanctioned.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. The whole extra gimmick of as far as this is what we're going to do added to it. They should just left it as a non-sanctioned match and let them beat the hell out of each other. No gloves should have been added, needed. No wheels should have been needed, nothing. So that's where they lost me on that. It was just too much for one match.
Yeah, Jesse does mention, like, why is the ref getting involved? You know, this is unsanctioned. And then, like, when he takes the tape away from Jake, Jesse also says, you know, why is he taking the tape away? This is unsanctioned. So it made no sense.
Yeah, he did mention that a couple times on there. Maybe they didn't tell the ref.
Well, it's just like anything, guys. It's just like anything. You know, I was watching a Stone Cold Steve Austin Bret Hart match, and it was supposed to be a submission match, and they were the referee just is creating drama just to try to get a reaction out of the crowd. It doesn't necessarily make sense. You didn't have to break the hold, you know, stuff like that. You know, they're just creating drama. It's just like when Mike Chioda doesn't understand what the Money in the Bank briefcase is. He's giving you the briefcase, cash it in. Where's the problem? He's just creating the drama. I get it, but this match just wasn't done very well. It was rushed. It was over gimmicked, and as Jim Ross always says, if you have to keep re-explaining it to the fans, then it's too confusing for them as well. And you had, you know, like I already brought it up, but Jesse saying you don't even need the coal miner's glove to win it. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, if you want any indication on how bad this pay-per-view was, the opening match was Eric Watts and Van Hammer beating Kevin Nash and Diamond Dallas Page. That just tells you right off the bat.
There is one good thing about the pay-per-view, though. I love seeing Bruno Sammartino. I love seeing him. I love listening to him. And, of course, the old school Tony Schiavone, he was, what, 20-something here, probably? 20, early 30s? So that was a good part of the pay-per-view. But anything after that, you lost me.
And you're right.
Can we talk about the snake bite? Let's talk about the snake bite. Because Jake really took the snake and, like, put it to his neck.
Yeah.
Clearly seen, like, I mean, it wasn't like, oh, here's the snake and he just bit him. He put the snake to his damn neck. Like,
does anybody find it odd that he was allowed to use the snake gimmick in WCW? Anybody want to weigh in on that? I don't understand how that would differ. Maybe he jumped in on the
copyright earlier. Maybe he was smart enough to actually trademark his own name back then, just like Sting did. Sting could be Sting anywhere he went.
Yeah, I just know that Vince McMahon's idea was this snake. I'm just surprised that there was nothing put into place saying, hey, you can't bring your snake if you're going to leave me. So it's just definitely a different time. It's 1992. We're talking 30 years ago. And you wouldn't see that today for sure. You might get some music that'll slip through the cracks here and there. But you're not gonna get something like this happen today. Something as big as this, because this was Jake. Jake was the DDT and the snake, and the methodical, slow-paced, never yelling, in-your-face, scary kind of guy. And he used the exact same persona here in WCW that he did in WWE.
I got something to counter that, Brad.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes. He's the American Nightmare. The same exact gimmick that he was in AEW.
So was he the American Nightmare before AEW though, when he was out in the Indies? Yes. So there's your answer. I think your answer is if they come in with it, they own it. If they, well, I mean, it's got to be worded properly. I don't know for sure. Maybe we can get Mike Dawkins on the horn. Mike, you around? And find out for sure. But I think that's what it is. I think if they walk in with it, they keep it. If it was developed by the company, then they don't. Or if they want to pay for it. Which I think Tony Khan maybe a little, he seems like a more reasonable guy, but at the same time, I really was surprised to see Cody with the exact same setup coming through the curtain at WrestleMania. But I think I understood why, because he did, was it 2 or 3 years in the Indies before AEW was even a thing?
Yeah, no, see, he paid for the copyright and everything. And when you pay it, what you do is whenever you start a new contract with a new company, you actually give them the right to use it while you're with the company. So he probably did the same thing with WWE. He's like, look, this is my name, but when I'm with you guys, I'll give you the rights to sell it to make money, but I'm sure he got a little extra bonus for letting them use it. So as long as he owns it, he can go around and use it as much as he wants, but as long as he gives them permission to use the name, they're allowed to use it as well.
And this is what I really like about talking about these kind of matches. Even though the match wasn't good, it's nostalgic, and we have a lot to talk about, like little interesting little details that happened that you have your questions about. But does anybody else have anything on this? Because I think I'm ready to wrap this one up.
I'm been done with this match before we started.
So I'm going to kick it back to James, and I'm sure you got something for us, James, right?
Oh, I do. I guess this would be a good time to, take a little break from the wrestling and discuss, other things going on in everybody's everyday life. Devyn, you're the youngest one here. So enlighten us on what's been going on in your neck of the woods, shall we say.
Honestly, I just fucking hate birds. That is my topic for this week. I am sick of birds. When I was little, I got bit by a chicken. I have a scar on my finger that had it forever. And just the other day, me and Erica, we were coming back to town. We were about an hour away. We're coming back into town, and birds shit right on the windshield of our car, right in the center, big spot. I tried spraying the windshield wiper fluid. It just spread it all out and made a big stain in the middle of the car. So after we're done recording here, I'm gonna have to take that over to the car wash and get a, bird shit off of it. But
That's hard hitting.
I don't know. You guys
Holy
ever
freaking
shit, dude. Are you serious with this? So now we have like the non-Coke from last week, and this week we're talking about birds. Holy shit.
And then we got mouses with Mike. I mean, we got our own little wildlife society. Mouses with Mike, birds. Shit.
Your damn dog's barking in the background.
Yeah, yep.
All right. Great.
Hey, can we get a timestamp so we can cut that, James? Timestamp that.
So, anybody mind if I do a quick F, Marry, Kill?
Go for it.
Gladly. That's my favorite.
It's your show, Brad. Go for it.
Definitely not my show. It's our show. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that, James. So let's talk about the baddies over at AEW. Let's talk about Jade Cargill.
Let's talk about
Red Velvet. And let's talk about Kiera Hogan. F, Marry, Kill. Go, Mike.
Kill Jade. I would,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll shut up.
Your answer's wrong already, but go ahead.
Who was the other ones?
Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, Kiera Hogan. They were out last week on Rampage.
Kiera Hogan, I marry. Red Velvet, I fuck.
Okay. How about you, James?
I'm gonna marry Jade because she takes care of her body. She's pretty. I see her up close in person. She's a stone cold fox. I think she's beautiful. She's a little too ripped for me, but hey, she'll beat anybody's ass that fucks with me, so I'm cool with that. I would definitely be the bitch in that relationship because she's the tough one for sure. I would say I would fuck all of them, but Red Velvet, I would assume. Kill Kiera, I guess.
All right, Devyn, what do you got? It's your girlfriend's not around, right? Not around.
Wait a minute. Don't say it too loud.
I would do nothing to either of them. I love my woman.
Well, that's my answer. But if I had to choose one, I'd marry Red Velvet. She's the most down to earth one, and she's already engaged. So, then
that would be a reason why you'd want to marry her, because she's engaged. You want to?
No, she's got like similar.
Jump in the car.
And then I guess I'd have to have Jade Cargill kill Kiera Hogan. Sorry, but
Kiera Hogan with no love today, man. Wow.
I like how Devyn knows that, she is engaged. Like, I like how you know that.
All right, man. What do you got, buddy?
Oh man, I agree with James. I mean, I'd F all three of them if I just had to choose. But
That makes it a game, buddy.
I'd marry Kiera Hogan because she's got that beautiful ass, man. God Almighty.
You got to share it with Diamante, so you get 2 for 1.
All right, thank you, Josh. Thank you. All right,
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody else is thinking here. But I'd probably kill which one? Golly, that's a good question. I don't know. Can I just F all three of them and be done with it? Can I just do that?
All right, go ahead, Josh. Give us your
Well, this is an easy one. Very easy. Diamante scares me, so Kiera, you got to go. Yeah, but here's who I'm gonna marry: Red Velvet, because she knows how to cook. She always keeps it cooking. That's part of her gimmick, and she is a girl that's a dancer. So, I froze again. If I didn't, I'm telling you this: Red Velvet, she can shake that ass, and Jade, I'll tell you one thing. She can do anything she wants to me. It's on. We can wrestle. We can do it all. She is the perfect glamazon. As my son is listening, about to tell his mom I'm gonna bang Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I think we're all safe. But I will say this: I will marry Kiera Hogan. I'm gonna bang Jade Cargill. I'm gonna kill Red Velvet. Yeah, Kiera Hogan's ass, and then Jade Cargill is gonna ruin me once, and I probably won't be able to do it again. So that's my answer.
Worth the experience.
That's my answer too, Brad. I'm with you.
That ass is perfect.
Yeah.
I got one more F Mary kill that we can go.
Oh shit! Now my wife's coming in.
Yeah, but this is gonna be much better. She'll be good with this, Josh.
Oh, she heard. Look, I mean, she's over here yelling at my ass. Get out of here!
This was all James' idea.
On the show.
It's all James' idea, Mrs. Rosenbaum.
You fucking rat! I'm gonna kick your son. You're not supposed to say anything.
Your son snitched on you. That's great.
All right, one more, and this is gonna be the gentleman. We're gonna go Randy Orton, Riddle, and Drew McIntyre as a newly formed team. F, Mary, kill. All right, Devin, what do you got?
Yeah.
I wasn't offering to go, but
That's myself.
I guess I'd marry Riddle.
Oh.
He seems most down to earth, coolest guy I could get along with.
420 friendly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Who you banging,
I don't want to. I don't know.
I got this.
All right, come on, Adam. Let's show him how it's done.
I'd kill Riddle because he just gets my nerve. I love as far as his ring work, I like it. But as far as just listening to him, I'd kill him with his ass. I'd marry Randy and marry Randy and fuck Drew because he looks like he'd be fun.
I'd be worried about Drew. He's got a big sword and he might know how to use it.
What do you think, Mike?
Actually, I'm gonna have to go with Adam on this one. I'm gonna marry Randy because I mean this bitch got money stacked up in the bag, so I ain't gotta worry about that. You know, I'd fuck Drew because hell, he's a Scottish man. He can take me to Scotland, whatever.
Always a good reason.
And fucking Matt Riddle. I mean, like I said, he's funny, he's cool, but damn, he can get annoying. So often, if I don't see him on TV tomorrow, I'm good.
All right, James. What do you think, pal?
We can move on. You know, we're good.
Well, they're not getting off that easy, man. Everybody wants to know. We know you're
I'm killing Riddle straight up. That bro shit annoys the hell out of me. Killing him, done, easy. I guess it's the same. I guess you'd have to marry Orton because he's like the bona fide superstar of them all. And then I don't know the justification of I'm fucking Drew because he's a Scottish man. I don't know that. But
right,
I sure go with Drew. Even though he's probably the bigger of all three of them.
I think I'd let Riddle have his way with me because he just seems like a nice guy. It seems like he'd be gentle, like, bro, you want me to do this? You want me to do, yeah, you know. So I mean, there might be a little variety there because those other two guys, they seem like brutes. I'd marry Randy because he just seems like a guy I'd like to kick it with, and Drew, I'd kill him because my wife likes those damn Scottish Highlander movies, so I have a real resentfulness towards Scotland in general. Shut up. I hate those fucking shows.
Go ahead, Brad.
My answer is we're gonna kill Riddle just because I think after a while we get a little annoying. I'm gonna fuck the shit out of freaking Drew McIntyre. All right. And then I'm gonna marry Randy Orton. You want to know why? Because I know me and him are gonna be watching reruns of This Is Us for the rest of our life.
There it is.
All right, next.
This Is Us.
All right, James.
I like how everyone took that as who are we fucking, and Coach Rosey took that as who's fucking me.
Yeah, no. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I gotta have at least a little something to motivate me. I mean, I know Riddle is very gentle and loving, and he might even snuggle at the end. I don't see those other two guys snuggling.
Yeah, but you pick Jade on the other one, and you tell her she can do anything she wants. You know she'll tear your ass up.
Well, that's a whole different story.
She got you pegged.
You can
I
do
see what
whatever
you
we
you
should
did
want.
move on.
Yeah, let's move on, James. It's your show, buddy. It's your show, James.
Yeah. Who else has a exciting, enthralling topic? Rosey, you got something you want to share with us today?
Now I'm gonna start putting together some stuff with sports. It's hard with the moving climate in sports with baseball and basketball and everything hockey going on right now. We're gonna come up with a way to really bring it up specific people in sports that really haven't gotten their fair share. So that's going to be being put in the works, like him in the Hall of Fame, but maybe some other athletes that aren't in the Hall of Fame that deserve some credit.
Yeah.
And but coming up is the Kentucky Derby. I don't know who's going to win, but I know it's going to be a long shot. So I'll definitely be betting on that. And I really do think that the Phoenix Suns are going to win the championship. No homer there. I think they are.
I know they have an exciting playoff series.
You watch all that build up to it? Do you watch all the build up to the Kentucky Derby? Do you watch the hours and hours of the horses coming out for that 30-second race?
Yep. I was raised across from a racetrack growing up, Bay Meadows in San Francisco. So I've always bet the horses. My senior year of high school, I was a student teacher aide, and my teacher let me go book bets for him. He let me leave class early, and I'd go run bets over to the track. So it's in my blood.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. That explains the whole Riddle thing because you love stallions.
He is long. I like how he kicks his shoes off too.
And I see Mike smoking a cigarette. You called him a smoking leprechaun last week, Josh. So here we are.
Well, he has had about 4 spikes this time. You know, you'll definitely see Mike on one of those commercials with the person with the I was a wrestling fan. So, Mike, let's get off those cigarettes. You don't need them, buddy. No, I know.
He's gonna go all JR on your ass in a minute if you get about smoking.
He's about to.
Back up. Yep, you're right. Love you, JR.
As a non-smoker, I think it's bullshit that they put those commercials on TV and I have to see it even though I don't smoke. I think that's kind of bullshit. Put them on cigarette packs or something, you know? Like, for real, I don't smoke. Why are you showing that shit to me? I don't want to see it.
I also don't eat turnips, but I see advertisements for those, you know.
Wow.
I don't know what you do in your free time because you get a little questionable activities going on. This is us.
Oh, my parents love that This Is Us. I mean, my mom and stepdad, they love it. I go over there to eat dinner or whatever, and it's 8 o'clock. It's time for This Is Us. Don't say a word. I'm over in the recliner just.
I feel like I'm part of the family. I'm
not allowed to move when that show's on because if I'm making noise, I get stuff thrown at me.
Brad's gonna be coming to Alabama next. Watch This Is Us.
Does that leave me with the topic? Am I the last one?
Yeah, you're up, buddy. Bring it on home.
All right. As you guys know, I work 2 jobs and I got 2 teenage kids and my daughter's almost 16. And my weekend job is my part-time job. And the timing of it has been great because I was off from the restaurant from the end of January until Easter. It was like the day after me and Brad talked about the podcast is when I had to go back to work. So I was at work yesterday and, I don't have my kids this weekend, but next weekend I'll have them and I have them during the week a little bit. But I was talking to a friend of mine and they helped me realize that, look, you're helping them. They're not really helping you. I don't need to work 2 jobs. I want to because it helps. But the money, dishwashers don't make a whole lot, but they help me realize that you don't need to do that. Your kids are getting old. So if you have a chance to, enjoy the time with the kids, don't work your life away. Because that's what I was doing. And it helped me realize that I don't need to do that. My dad did that. And I miss my dad every day. I wish I could have more time with him, but that's another story. But they help me realize that, look, don't work every weekend. You know, do something you enjoy. You're doing these podcasts. That's something you enjoy doing. So get away from killing yourself working and then start enjoying your time. So that's what we'll start doing. And you guys helped me realize that too. Because once we started this, I love doing this with you guys, and it means the world to me. And I look forward to it. And I just want y'all help me realize that I need to enjoy my time more and spend my time with my kids more. So I appreciate it, guys. Y'all helped me out a whole lot this weekend. So I love you guys, and I appreciate it.
Thanks for that, Adam. That was awesome. Man.
Much love.
Appreciate that. And you're absolutely right. Working our lives away is not the way to do it. And I'm guilty as anybody.
And if you love family stories like that, be sure to tune in to This Is Us on NBC.
Hey, you know what you can go by? What Tony Stark said. No amount of money, but a minute worth of time with your kids.
Now, because time is the one thing you can't get back. You can always make more money sometimes, but your time is something you can't buy back.
That's
So
true.
it helped me finally realize it, and you guys were a part of it. So I just want y'all to know that.
I agree. I realized that this weekend. I took pictures of my niece going to her prom, and it's blink and rye. They're up and grown.
Yeah, I mean, you turn around and turn right back, and like I said, my daughter will be driving in 2 months by herself. She's already driving everywhere now with me, but she'll be, you know, and that who knows, she'll be working. So I mean, that might be less time I have with her. So I need to actually zone in and start spending more time with them. So I just want to put that out there. I didn't mean to get all sentimental, guys.
No, it's great, man. You know, I got
Yeah,
3 in high school as well, Adam. So I get it. My daughter's going to college next year, and we're spending less and
Yeah.
less time with all 3 of them because they have their own agenda too. And
Right.
you know, just a little bit here, a little bit here. She just texted me a few minutes ago. I want to know how she could listen to the podcast. So I'm not sure about that, but you know, she's going to West Virginia next year. My son's now 16. My youngest is 15. So yeah, they got their own stuff going on. So this time is important because you know you're not going to get it back. So thank you so much for that.
Wow, so
We'll have to
we
get
got our
James
next
to edit
message?
a version. We'll get James to edit a version for your daughter only.
Yeah, be me saying good night, everybody.
It just beeps out like, "Hey guys, welcome to the Kick Out Crew, and see ya."
Beep.
Oh, West Virginia, Morgantown.
That's awesome, man.
That's a
Congratulations.
party school, man. You
Thank
better
you.
watch out. That's a party school.
Yeah, I'm real excited about that.
She's probably not a partier though, is she? I mean, I drink. I
uh,
supposedly, rumor has it, Mom. I guess I drank a lot in high school and stuff. Supposedly.
That's hearsay.
Yeah.
All right, James, let's kick it back to you. Next match, right?
Well, we're gonna spin up a next one, and it is a 4-way tag TLC match from Monday Night Raw in October 7th, 2002. It was held at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las
Hell
Vegas.
yeah. Vegas.
You know
That sounds familiar from a week or two ago, right?
It really does. And the match length, 25 minutes, 7 seconds. It actually got a 3.8 rating, which I guess at that time was relatively decent. Now they would kill for that. Meltzer gave it 4.25 stars. And that's pretty much all the backdrop I have for that. Obviously, it's another spin the wheel type of thing, which I find, which is a common theme on this episode, spinning of the wheel. Maybe it's because Double or Nothing is coming up, you know.
There we go.
But
I'll be there. Why don't you guys fly out? We'll go
What else
get
is
it
new,
in
Coach?
Airbnb.
Where aren't you? You're everywhere. You're here, you're
No.
there, you're every fucking where. Coach Rosey.
and if you're listening to this, Mr. Khan, press passes, you know, we could sure use some press passes for the Kick Out Crew. That is at Kick Out Crew on Twitter. You can follow us on YouTube also. Still.
All right.
Well,
And we get to hear a nice plug for Jeff Jarrett. If you do go to Double or Nothing, make sure you go to the Nerd Bar the day of. It's the very first time in 30 years, the reunion of Double J and the Road Dogg. Their first concert in 30 years. I'd pay anything to see that.
You could be there, right?
I'll be there. I'm going to get a guitar. I'm not going to have him hit me with them and have him sign it and put it up on the wall.
You know what
What
the
if he
best
brought out
We
Beetlejuice?
got a special guitar for a special top guy.
Nice.
You know what the best part about watching these matches and taking notes is when you look back at your notes, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I have all these notes that I'm writing in shorthand, and I have this like exclamation points. Yeah, so we're gonna try to get through this, okay? So Devyn, again, this is your match. Is there anything you want to say about it before we get started?
Yeah, I got the backstory of this match. The tag team champions at this point are Hurricane and Kane. They're going by the Hurricane. So during the show, like James said, this was Raw Roulette. Eric Bischoff was spinning the wheel that had multiple different matches on it for every single match. So there was a few different matches in the show. Early off in the show, the Hurricanes, they went into Eric Bischoff's office and asked what their match was going to be. Bischoff spun the wheel and it landed on TLC. At this point, there had only been 3 TLC matches in the history of the WWF. So this was going to be very interesting. A couple segments later, Eric Bischoff brought 3 former TLC veterans into his office. Bubba Ray Dudley, Jeff Hardy, and Christian. He said all 3 of these guys can choose a teammate that they want to team with to be in this TLC tonight. The first one was Christian, who actually was just teaming with Lance Storm, and that's who lost the titles to Hurricane and Kane. He was in a backstage promo saying that he's not going to team with any of the un-Americans. That's when Chris Jericho came up. Chris Jericho recently lost the Intercontinental Championship to Kane and said he wants to get his revenge. So Christian and Jericho teamed up. Later, Bubba Ray Dudley went into the locker room and asked Tommy Dreamer to be his partner, but clearly upset with Spike Dudley right next to Tommy Dreamer. And Spike said, Bubba, I've never been in one of these matches. I would love to be in this match. Bubba said, you know what, little brother, you're on my team. A little bit later, Jeff Hardy was backstage and decided to just pick Rob Van Dam to be his partner. There wasn't really any big aspect to that. And then that's kind of how we got to this match. And then right before the bell, right before everyone came out, Kane was in a backstage promo. The Hurricane got jumped by Kane's opponent at No Mercy, the World Heavyweight Champion, Triple H, and his partner, Ric Flair.
Woo! Woo!
Single-handedly defend the tag championships in the TLC match for our main event.
Okay.
I like the team of Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam. How many times do you think they pissed clean teaming together?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to put this question out there, and I guess, Mike, you're as good of a person to answer this as anybody. When you find out that Kane's going to be going out there alone, do you think that the winner of this match is obvious?
Yeah, back then, I mean, it kind of, you can read the stories. So it's kind of, even nowadays, you can kind of read what's going to happen, everything else. But if he was going out there by himself, you knew one way or another he was going to win.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you put someone like in a gauntlet match, or you put someone in a, these matches where the advantage is not to them, a lot of times they're going to win to overcome. That's always my problem with a match when you have a handicap involved like that. Now, they make it sound like this match is actually, a spin the wheel roulette, and it is. And Eric Bischoff's a genius. He is so good. He is playing this part up so well. But obviously, these guys knew before this night started that they were going to be doing a TLC match. You don't just get told that 5 minutes before. I'm just curious, Adam, have you ever done a TLC match or like a ladder match or anything like that?
Actually, yeah, I have done a ladder match. There was actually a ladder. We had a table put in. There's a guy it was in Georgia, and it was Trying, Georgia, I believe it was. The promoter's name was Jack Lord. I mean, you might be familiar with him. It was against a guy named Brian Sterling. And I had a ladder in the ring, and he was laying on the table, and I get to the top, and I figured, oh, okay, I'll do a swanton. Well, yeah, no, it wasn't a swanton. It was a shooting star. That's what I did. I did a shooting star off the top, and when I hit the table didn't break. And when the table didn't break, my knee hyperextended, and that was one of my last matches I had, because that was rough. That was a long ride back to Alabama.
So then, is it really can you expect to always have an injury during a match like this? At least be hurt? You going in there knowing that's going to happen?
Well, if you plan it out right, so we didn't have a big plan. That was kind of like, all right, here we go. So I just figured I'd do it. We talked about it, during the match. I said, if it comes up to it, do you mind if I do something off the ladder? And he said, yeah, go ahead. So at that time came, I said, hey, I'm going up. And we didn't expect the table not to break. We actually had one of those good ones, not the Walmart ones. We had a Home Depot table. So I hit the shooting star. And that was the first time I actually really got hurt in the ring, because I actually went to the table before. And believe it or not, a table spot is actually not as bad on you as a regular spot, like on the floor, because the table actually slows you down before you hit the bottom. So if you do it right, you can actually go out there and not get hurt. But these guys, like I'm watching it now, these guys go above and beyond something I would never do. There's no way.
And hey, Brad, I want to mention, you said something about getting hurt on this. I did a little bit of research on this match because I heard something about it before. This match is the one that Devyn got concussed at. So about halfway through this match, I don't know exactly the spot, he was concussed. He didn't know what he was doing or anything like that during it. Chris Jericho was actually calling the spots for our Bubba, not Devyn, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Bubba.
good. Thank you.
So it was, my apologies.
That's all
But
right.
Bubba got concussed. And Chris Jericho was actually, and you can see a few spots if you watch this match where Jericho is in the ring and he's kind of looking at Bubba, and you can tell he's kind of calling the match for him. So
it's funny you brought it up, because I think I just seen the spot where it's Jericho and Bubba. They're on the ladder together, and Jericho does like a bulldog type deal to Bubba, and Bubba actually gets head first. I think it's where it happened.
I think that's the spot.
Yeah,
I think that's the spot where it happens.
I think it's where it happened.
But he is concussed, and Jericho is the one that's calling the match to Bubba during the rest of the match for it. And even after then, he takes some good hits on it. If you watch the match, I mean, he still takes a good couple of chair shots and off the ladder and through a table, and he don't know where the hell he's at.
A bubble bomb from 15 feet in the air.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so that shit won't happen today.
So Jericho, speaking of Jericho, did everybody see that beard? Anybody?
Yeah.
No, but I think he looked good with the Bret Hart tights on. I thought that was a throwback to the Hart Foundation with the pink and black. I thought he looked really good. Mm-hmm. Coach, what do you got for me on this match? I mean, this is like you're like me. You're 48. I'm 46. So we come from a time where this wasn't really what we were watching. Did you enjoy it? You like the spots like me. So what'd you think?
I thought Spike Dudley did a great job of just getting his ass kicked in the match. He's so good at being a human pinball. But I never really get into a match when they put in hodgepodge tag teams where they just kind of group guys together. I mean, because like you said, with the one guy being out there, Kane, plus all the tag team matches, tag teams being hodgepodge, I knew the result. But don't get me wrong, a good ladder shot, jumping off the top, they were the pioneers of that. So anytime you can see one of the originals, and to see where it has gone to today, like you can see guys taking RKOs off the ladders. We've seen Sammy taking spikes. And Devyn, how did Sammy's match go against our boy Scorpio? He didn't take a very good bump off the ladder, did he? But needless to say, the game's a hell of a lot better. And it's all because of what they did in those early 2000 matches. So I watched it more for just a historical aspect because I'm so impressed by what the guys do today.
Hey, James, are you a Jeff Hardy fan?
Yeah, I would say so.
So 20 years later, he's still doing this stuff. And how many points in this match did you just, this is the way I felt. I mean, like, how many times in this match did he go through a table that looked like nobody was even around? And it's just hard to believe that this guy's still doing it 20 years later. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if you were a big fan of his or not, and if you enjoyed these spots in the match.
Yeah, well, I mean, for starters, I just want to say I am the table. Shout out to Matthew and Botchmania. But I definitely loved I get it. It's not really my style. I kind of agree with Coach. When you throw two teams together or all the teams together like that, it kind of loses its luster for me. It's more of an exhibition type thing. instead of what we would perceive as a tag title match. Why are you fighting for the belts if you're just thrown together? That's just my opinion on that. But the breaking of the tables and everything, I mean, I get it. The fact that Jeff is still doing it, I do not get. Maybe I would save it for a pay-per-view. It seems like he's doing it every Dynamite now. But I do also want to point out JR announcing this match alone, because, you know, he's like, well, I guess Jerry left with the hose on the hoe train, and he just called the match like all by himself.
That's one thing I did have my notes about JR calling on his own.
Yeah.
And he did a good job. He did a real good job calling on his own.
And he didn't have no dead air. He just kept like, it's him talking. So he had to keep it going with no dead air. He couldn't like ping pong back and forth with anybody. He just had to keep it going. Then, you know, JR can, he's the best.
And I also liked how the WWE did their spin the wheel. They made it more foolish than more ghoulish. That's a t-shirt. I mean, we had Annie matches, we had showgirl matches. I mean, this card on this Raw on a regular night, you know, it was funny. Whereas that Halloween Havoc, it, you know, was kind of dumb. So I like the WWE way to do it better.
Did anybody happen to watch what was happening before this match with Stacy Keibler and Trish Stratus by any chance? Because I stumbled across that by accident. And I'm in. And how about the interview with Terry Runnels and Kane before the match too? She's saying, "Oh, we all know that you're big." Like, oh my god.
Yeah. I got that in my notes too. The big red machine, and I do mean big.
Well, I mean, if you're going to preference what happened before the match, so you can't forget about Regal in the showgirl match.
Yeah, that was great.
That was so great. Regal is such an entertainer. I love William Regal.
That is true. That was really good.
And by the time this drops, be ready for the be surprised at who the host is.
It's gonna be a surprise.
Anybody can answer this, but I have another question. When it comes to these ladder matches, there were so many points in this, right? The ladder is so out of position. At what point do you say, okay, we know it's not going to end now? Do you think they should do a better job of making it look like they actually have a chance at grabbing the belt during the match and still the very end? It's so abrupt at the end normally. And then during the match, I always see like it can be completely out of position. Do you think they need to do a better job of that? Or do you think that maybe most fans, unlike us, don't notice it?
Well, when you Kane's going to get the belts, you see Jericho like scoot over and like hold the ladder with his legs. So, you know, that was a bad positioning on that one, I guess. Or that Kane's just a big motherfucker and the ladder was wobbling too much.
Well, not only that, any kind of ladder match like this, you know, if they're climbing the damn ladder and it takes them 3 minutes to get up that damn ladder, you know they're not going to get it. You know they're waiting for that spot for somebody to come in. I get that. That's fine. Make that spot happen sooner. Like, don't wait, 2 or 3 minutes, climbing the ladder and then somebody comes in and tips the ladder or jumps up on the ladder. Make it happen quick. If somebody was up there rushing up to the ladder and then, whoever jumps up and stops them, that'd be a different story. If they're slowly making their way, like, oh God, I can't count with this damn ladder. It's a fucking
stopping
ladder.
And looking.
The damn ladder.
Go to
stopping, looking, doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
Like this. You're on your last breath that you have. Something's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to me, like as a selling moments during this match, and Adam and Josh, you guys see a lot of this. Like during a ladder match, there is no real selling of injuries. Are you told? You think they're being told just the selling is just staying down? Like, don't go until. Do they always just want two people wrestling? Like, what do you guys think?
Go ahead, Josh.
I think it seems choreographed. I mean, it's kind of the same as the Battle Royal where you kind of wait for your spots and you get a lot of rest in. I mean, you can kind of see them when they're outside the ring and you sometimes think to yourself, hey, where'd that guy go? And then all of a sudden he pops back in because they're pretty good at controlling the camera angles and knowing where to go. So there are definitely a lot of rest spots. Adam, you'd know better by setting up matches like this. Is that the case?
But some of us rest spots, but a lot of it, when something big happens, they let it fester. They let it register to the fans because there's so much going on that when something big happens, like right here, Spike's going up to the top. He's the only one there. And right before this, Jericho, he's up top and he hits the belts and starts swinging. And it makes it more believable when he hits the belts instead of just waiting on somebody to come up behind you. He makes it more believable when he hits the belts and he's got to wait for it to stop swinging. So everything's just got to register to the fans because there's so much going on. So I think some of it's resting, but some of it is more or less registering of what just happened.
Yeah, you gotta let it sink in a little bit. Get the ooh and ah factor.
There you go. That's it.
So recently I had talked to Arn Anderson about injuries, and we were all scared of the Lance Archer landing on his head when he came off off the top rope. There's a spot in here where Bubba Ray Dudley is doing a suplex off of the ladder. It is done absolutely perfectly. They landed perfectly, but 1 centimeter either way, or I guess an inch either way, and this kid end really badly. Little bit of water or sweat that dripped onto the ladder. Anything could happen. I know this is 20 years ago, but do we think this is necessary today? James, what do you think?
I think it's a little overdone. If you save it for a big match, I get it, a pay-per-view of some sort. But like they say, the more and more you see it, the less impact it has. So I think, I do think it's unnecessary, especially to do it just to do it. If it has a purpose, I get that. If there's an emotional investment to it, maybe there was something previously that happened on a ladder, and then like flashing forward on a current match, they use the ladder as like a callback to that. If it has meaning, I get it, but just to do it, it really just, it's a good ooh ah, but it doesn't really do much for me.
Well, now we have Big E in the hospital. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even have an update. I know this is going to air on in a week or so, but like a little peek behind the curtain, guys. Sorry.
Kayfabe, Jesus.
Kayfabe. But we have Big E in the hospital because he landed on his head outside the ring, and I don't know. I just think that either they got to save these spots for the big moments, or they just have to be freaking more careful outside the ring. And it's just I'm holding my breath anymore after this Lance Archer moment. That terrible moment that we saw with Ray Phoenix. I know it was just his arm, but that was disgusting. If everybody doesn't know, watch an old AEW Dynamite to see that. These guys are doing everything they can to entertain us. And I sometimes think, as Arn Anderson said to me, tell them it's not necessary. Now I know that's not going to happen because I've been to a GCW event too. And there's just some craziness that goes on. A glass landed in my beer.
Or how about when Sammy almost killed Matt Hardy?
True.
Yep. So who was everybody rooting for in this match anyway?
Did you finish it?
Did you finish your beer when the glass landed in it?
Right.
It was
This was the first time I watched this match because
and we lost Coach. Yeah, I finished the beer.
Oh, boy.
So
It wasn't a little piece. It was a big chunk. It was from one of those glass tubes.
So you're talking about the bumps and everything in the match. There was one spot where RVD does the coast to coast. There's so much that goes on in that move because you got to make sure you jump far enough. You got to make sure that you land on the ropes right to jump far enough. And then you also have to make sure that you don't hit the chair too hard because you don't want to concuss Kane. At the same time, you want to make sure that you don't want to land hard or to concuss yourself. So just that one move has so much to do. And there's just, on a Monday Night Raw, I don't think it's necessary. Just to go back on what y'all are talking about, what isn't necessary. Just little moves like that. There's just so much that could go wrong for just that one move that some of it just don't even need to be in it.
So Adam, what about like the Van Daminator? When RVD throws the chair up to the other opponent, they catch it and he does that spinning kick, hits him in the head. Because that was another thing that Bubba did after he was concussed. Is that something that you think necessary, not necessary, safe, not safe?
So that's controlled a little better, just depending on how hard. It depends on if he catches it right. and then he can control the force coming back towards him also. But as long as the chair is thrown right, because you got the back side, front side, as long as the smooth side is towards you, the person that's about to take it. And RVD's he's good enough. He can control the kick. But as long as Bubba knows to catch it and just not to waylay himself, it's a fairly safe move compared to, like I said, the one where he goes coast to coast.
Yeah.
It's totally different. But it's a fairly safe move.
Now, we were talking about before about how everybody in this match was just put together and they're not a regular tag team. Now, watching this now, when we watch old Raws and old SmackDowns, it doesn't have that same negative effect for me because I'm not invested in this show. Now, because I'm not watching weekly episodic television. So I think this actually, I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think this holds up because of that? Maybe a little better than when it was, this match wasn't so bad because we didn't know the story leading up to this. We haven't been watching the episodes leading up to this or after this. So honestly, I wouldn't even have known really that these guys weren't tag teams together. I didn't know what anybody wanted to weigh in on that.
Well, if you think about it too, I mean, where was everybody's tag team partner at? Like, where was Matt Hardy? Where was Devon? And where was Edge?
Right.
So
We don't know.
you have those three people. Where were they? So they weren't a tag team at the time, anyways. Oh, so that's who they would have picked.
Right. Does anybody have anything else on this match? So we know who wins. It's Kane. He wins it by himself, and he climbs
And
the
that's
ladder.
why I suspended belief on a title change. I didn't watch it for a title change.
Right. Okay, I believe that. You're watching it for the crash and burn. I get it. But did you guys think the finish was lackluster after all that?
Well, I think the finish of the actual match was really good and well done. Kane showed that he's dominant and really the top guy and should be a top babyface going into face Triple H at No Mercy. But the end of the show is what I really didn't like.
Yeah, I agree with. I
The
agree with
NSO.
that.
That's the biggest thing of this whole thing. The NSO. That's the Katie Vick storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, showing Kane being so dominant, I enjoyed it because you don't see that back then. Kane was the Intercontinental Champion. He was the defending tag team champion, and he was also in 2 weeks from here about to go for the world champion. So it just shows how dominant they were pushing Kane because he had the chance to be a three-time champ to hold all three titles at the same time. And then later on, you see Kane he's just not as relevant as he was back then. So I like that as far as Kane just showing how powerful he was, and he did it without the Undertaker either. So
And he didn't he kind of fill in for Stone Cold when he was hurt? Kane was the man during this time, right? I wasn't really watching it, but this is kind of when Stone Cold was hurt and at the end of it. Yeah. He was a man.
Yeah,
I like this version of
top
Kane.
Baby face.
Yeah, I like this version of Kane. He was out there talking. He was getting into it with the fans. He didn't just come out there and do his little fucking arm thing and flames coming and everything else. This was the whole Kane-maniacs or whatever the hell he called them type deal.
Knights.
So he had more little comic type deal to him. He just kind of, he did his thing.
Anybody have anything else?
No.
Right. Let's go, James. What do you got?
All right. Well, is that going to wrap it up for us today, fellas?
Not quite. I think Mike's got something to add, right?
Oh, yeah. Mike's got Mike.
Well, I do got, you
got your Mike's Meat Minute.
I got my Mike's
Let's
Meat
hear
Minute.
it.
So here's what we're going to do today. We're not going to throw it on a smoker. We're not going to throw it on the grill. We're going to take our time on this one, throwing the crock pot. I'm going to do a Mississippi deer roast. So here's what you need. You need one good size, and you don't have to have deer. If you're not a person, wild game, nothing, you can do it whatever you want. You need one good size roast, a couple mini carrots, potatoes, onions. Get your ranch packet. And see if y'all fucking me on this one. The Juju sauce. You know what I'm talking about. The Juju packet. Get you one packet of that and a jar of pepperoni peppers. Put everything in that little crock pot. Set it on low. put on for about 8-9 hours. That's all you need to do. Go in there every couple hours, start pulling that meat apart. Make sure you get all that juice and everything else going in. You can add a stick of butter. That kind of adds a little bit more juice, a little bit more of flavoring into it. I add about half a stick. That's what I do. But add about a stick, half a stick of butter, and just let it go for about 8-9 hours, and you'll be good to go.
Low and slow, my favorite.
No,
Low and slow.
I like those pepperoni peppers. That probably makes them stick a little
The
bit.
pepperoni peppers is what gives it the flavor. I like using the whole. You can get the dice. You can do what you gotta do, but make sure you get your good big jar of the pepperoni peppers and pour that in there. Don't need no water. Don't need no nothing else. Just let all that juice flow in there.
Papa John's has a hard on about those pepperoni peppers. Why do they give those pepperoni peppers with the pizza? What does it have to do with eating
And they're
pizza? I
always
eat them though.
so
I eat them,
limp.
though.
true.
They
They're
do.
limp.
Oh,
They're
jeez.
limp.
Back with the robot voice. Thank God it wasn't me. Anyway,
Can't wait to try that, Mike. Sounds delicious. I'm a big fan of the pepperoni. When I first saw a recipe that had that, I was really confused as to why you would add it to it. But once you do add it, you really see that is where the flavor comes from. So can't wait to try it. Devyn, I believe you had a little something. We always like to go to Devyn, being the youngest member. We like to see what's fresh with the young crowd because we're obviously older. So Devyn, what's shaking?
Oh, I got a little segment here that I like to call Devyn's Demographic of the Week. I just got 3 big music artists that I really like. The 3 that are standing out to me lately, it's been Jack Harlow, Machine Gun Kelly, and Halsey. Jack Harlow, he's a 23-year-old rapper from Kentucky. He's been rapping for a few years now, but he just became big with the release of one of his songs, What's Poppin'. That beat kind of took over TikTok and everyone kind of highlighted it and made it in their videos and really took his career to the next level. But he's been collabing with a few big artists like G-Eazy, Lil Wayne, Lil Nas X, and Eminem. And I've just been really enjoying his stuff. Speaking of Eminem, that's what brings me to my next artist, Machine Gun Kelly. Eminem tore apart Machine Gun Kelly a couple years ago when they had a little bit of beef online. Took Machine Gun completely out of the rap genre. He doesn't even do rap now. He's been doing like a lot of pop and alternative like punk rock, which I've really been into lately. He's been working with a bunch of big artists, which one of them is Halsey. That's my third artist of today, which I honestly think that she has the best like singing voice in the world right now. Halsey, she can sing anything. She can range anywhere. She's my favorite artist, and I just wanted to, highlight those 3, and that they've been all over my Spotify and YouTube a lot, and I think a lot of people my age are really into those 3 right now.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I get it. I've heard of every one of those, which is surprisingly shocking enough. Definitely know MGK because I'm a Eminem fan for sure. Kill Shot. But
We're gonna start calling Coach RoboCop.
That's what my daughter said.
Yeah, Halsey. Yeah, I'm a big Halsey fan because she did a couple of collaborations, and she is an amazing singer. She really is.
I never felt so old in my entire life as I do in this very moment. Thanks, Devyn, for that.
Do you know any of them?
Yeah, I know them of them. I don't. I'm gonna go downstairs and play some Billy Joel in a few minutes if you get my drift, okay?
Brad out there selling his cars is an Eminem and everything else, so you know how he does.
Yeah, that is for sure. Yeah, thanks, Devyn. I always like feeling older every day.
Oh yeah. That's moving up.
If anybody out here has any recipes they want to know, hit me up. Hit us up on Kick Out Crew on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's at Kick Out Crew.
Hell
No,
yeah, man.
I enjoyed one of these matches, guys, and Devyn, I think he did pretty good picking them. I mean, whether they're good or not, we had a lot to talk about between the two matches, and I just enjoy chatting with you guys. I don't care if the matches are good or not. Just chat with you guys makes my day.
Heard that.
In our bonus episode, we're gonna have
Oh, boy.
Devyn's fiance slap him for recommending the Sting versus Jake Roberts match.
Yeah, that apparently was me and James' idea too.
Yeah, I don't know. Haven't picked one yet, but we'll take it.
Man. All right,
That
guys.
being
I thought it was a fun episode though.
Anybody else have
like-
any? We can all do our own little personal little outros if you want to. Follow
Well,
me here type of
Like I
thing.
said, yeah, if you want to hit me up, I'm at Whitaker1028 on Twitter. Hit me up. I'll give you some recipes, give you some my information. Just let me know what you guys think.
I am at Yes Man Brad because I am in the car sales business, and my answer is always yes. At Twitter.
Well, y'all can catch me at Adam_from_Bama on Twitter. Facebook, you can say hi, but I can't guarantee that I'll say hi back. I don't stay on there much. But thanks for the time, guys. I enjoy it like always.
Devyn Dowling. You can catch me on all social medias at DevynD19. That's Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, anything you want.
Devyn D, 19, not necessarily his age.
But
And we
not
lost
far off.
Coach, buddy. We lost Coach, so he
We
is not
lost
going to
the-
take a turn.
We lost the real Coach
lost
Rosey. I think it's that
He's
real
at
Coach
Real
Rosey.
Coach Rosey at Twitter. Hit him up. He'll give you all the information you need about betting or sports or anything else.
That is true. I am at James L. Corai. I will talk shit with you if you need someone to talk shit with. I'm not really not an expert on everything, or not an expert at one thing, but I know a little bit about everything, I guess you could say. And this was fun. Be sure to tune in next week where we discuss Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero's WrestleMania 20 match, and also the six-man tag from NXT New Orleans. Can't wait. Those are two very good matches. I went back and previously watched them again. Gonna watch them another time, take some more notes. But had a great time today. Hope you guys enjoyed the Kick Out Crew. That is at Kick Out Crew on Twitter. We have a YouTube channel that you can search for now at Kick Out Crew there. You can always hit us up on Facebook. You can email your suggestions or comments to kickoutcrewpod@gmail.com. And like we always say, don't let life get you down. Kick out it too, because that's what we do. We're the Kick Out Crew. And hope everybody has a fantastic week. Really enjoyed this, and thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.
See you guys.